The drying up of the Euphrates River, one of the world's greatest and oldest rivers, has taken the world by storm. It was there from the beginning, and its drying up speaks of strange mysteries. Perhaps the end of the world, with prophecies being fulfilled and shocking things emerging from the drying waters. Why is the river really drying out? And what is being exposed from its ancient depths? Pay attention to everything we are about to show you in the video. Drought has reduced these famous marshes in some areas to puddles, damaging the lives of the people. When staring at the Euphrates River, know that you are by no means staring at a modern-day river. Instead, you are staring at a river that has interesting stories to tell and a river that has supported numerous ancient civilizations. Even from the cradle, the river has seen mighty empires rise and fall, including empires that you only read about in storybooks and ancient historical texts. But here is the sad part of this story. It would only be a matter of time before this great river becomes forgotten. Why do we say this? Well, that's because the river is drying up at a speed that astounds even scientists. For those who know the Euphrates River, it is quite difficult to believe that the river, which had flowed on the earth for thousands of years, is now meeting its end. The river was indeed nothing short of a mighty water force, running through and serving numerous nations, which included both old and new ones. Indeed, the river remains a major player in the development of human societies, with its ancient waters telling numerous stories which it has silently witnessed. Some of the civilizations which once blossomed with great support from this river include that of the Sumerians. One of the world's earliest known civilizations settled in the southern region of Mesopotamia, between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. This nation developed advanced systems of irrigation and agriculture, which were essential for their prosperity and had forever planted their name in history. The Akkadians, who followed the Sumerians, also built an empire that encompassed Mesopotamia, where they continued to benefit from the fertile lands along the Euphrates. There was also the city of Babylon, situated along the Euphrates, fed by the Euphrates River. Babylon was a major center of the ancient world under the rule of Nebuchadnezzar. The Euphrates River played a vital role in providing water for agriculture and supporting trade and commerce. It is from here that one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, comes from. The river also saw the rise of the Assyrian Empire, centered in the region between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. The Assyrians used the Euphrates for transportation, trade, and agriculture, contributing to their imperial success. The Chaldeans, a Semitic people who lived in the region around Babylon, were also reliant on the Euphrates for agriculture and trade. Again, the Persian Empire, particularly during the reign of Cyrus the Great and his successors, utilized the Euphrates for water supply and transportation, contributing to the empire's prosperity. These ancient civilizations relied on the Euphrates River for their fertile lands, irrigation, transportation, and as a source of sustenance, which allowed them to flourish and make significant contributions to human history. Today, countries like Turkey, Syria, Iraq, and Saudi Arabia have inherited the great river. But at a terrible time the river is drying up, even as supply from its sources continues to decline. Now, the waters of the Euphrates River come from the mountains of the eastern Turkey highlands and are highly sustained when snow melts. This melting snow causes the Euphrates River to swell and leads to annual flooding, which the nations rely on. Being here for thousands of years, people have come to depend on the Euphrates River, which is now a strong part of the regions it flows through. The river has seen the rise and fall of many civilizations, whose remnants can still be found today in their ruins and artifacts. Among them are many empires in Iraq, which was the major nation in the Euphrates basin from time immemorial. This nation had, indeed, made use of the waters of the Euphrates to create an impressive irrigation system to power its empires in the past and has not stopped doing so now. But then, things have changed in recent times, and Iraq is at the least vantage point. Recently, Turkey has constructed several dams and reservoirs along the upper reaches of the Euphrates, primarily for irrigation, hydroelectric power generation, and water storage. Notable projects include the Ataturk Dam, which created Lake Ataturk and has a substantial water storage capacity. These dams significantly reduce the downstream flow of the Euphrates, impacting Syria and Iraq. But Turkey is not alone in this, as Syria has also built dams, such as the Tabqa Dam on the Euphrates, which provides hydroelectric power and water storage for irrigation. The operation of these dams can further reduce the flow of the river downstream especially during dry seasons. The collective impact of these dam projects, coupled with extended periods of drought, has contributed to the drying up of the Euphrates River in some regions, and it promises to extend to all. Here, however, Iraq suffers the most as a downstream country. Indeed, the effect of the Euphrates River drying up is far-reaching. But you won't understand how big this is until you explore the Euphrates River's course, which is a really long one. Now, the Euphrates River is approximately 1,740 miles (2,800 kilometers) long and flows through several countries in the Middle East. It originates in eastern Turkey near the city of Urum, where its two main source rivers, the Muray and Karasu, join to form the Euphrates. From its source, the river flows south through eastern Turkey, passing through various towns and cities such as Elazig and Şanlıurfa. It then crosses the border into Syria, where it continues its southward flow. In Syria, it's a significant water source and flows through cities like Raqqa. From Syria, the river then enters Iraq, where it meanders through major cities like Baghdad and Basra. It's a vital waterway in this region, supporting agriculture and transportation. Near the southern Iraqi city of Kurna, the Euphrates meets the Tigris River to form the Shatt al-Arab, which eventually empties into the Persian Gulf, creating a vast delta region that's important for agriculture and ecosystems. Now, it is sad that a river this important is drying up, but wait until you find out what comes next. What do prophecies say about the Euphrates River drying up? Many major religions in the world today are quite familiar with the river named Euphrates, and the reasons for this are quite serious. For Islam, Judaism, and Christianity, the Euphrates River is, in fact, one of the first rivers created by God, which flowed from the Garden of Eden. In the Bible, you would find this in the book of Genesis too. But it gets even more serious, as numerous Christian and Jewish prophecies have been made about the river. In the Bible, numerous prophets have prophesied about the Euphrates River. And interestingly, most of them talk about the river drying up, as it is happening today. This is no small event, as the Euphrates River is considered a mighty water highway and is referred to as the Great River by the prophets. Amongst those who have prophesied about the river drying up, we find Prophet Isaiah, who declared in Isaiah 11:15 that God himself would strike the Euphrates River, allowing the remnants of his people to return to the land. Isaiah also prophesied in Isaiah 44:27 that God will be the one to dry up the rivers. If you follow events closely, you will notice that there's been a strange heat spell traversing Europe and drying up major rivers, of which the Euphrates falls. But the peculiarity of the Euphrates River drying up doesn't stop here, as there seems to be a bigger purpose for the river's demise. Another prophet in the Bible known to prophesy about the dry future of the Euphrates River is Prophet Jeremiah. He prophesied in the book of Jeremiah 46:27 that the Euphrates River would be dried and parched because of the people's idolatry. However, nothing beats the fact that the Bible finally ties up the drying up of the Euphrates River to the end of the world. In the book of Revelation 16:12, it is written that the sixth angel poured out his bowl on the great river Euphrates, and its water was dried up to prepare the way for the kings from the east. Many have tied this prophecy to mean that the Euphrates River will be suddenly supernaturally dried up to allow forces from the east to cross in order to fight a symbolic battle known as the Battle of Armageddon. Here, the Battle of Armageddon is seen as part of the series of events leading up to the second coming of Jesus Christ and the final judgment. It is often associated with a period of great tribulation and turmoil. Many interpretations see the battle as highly symbolic, representing the ultimate confrontation between the forces of good, representing God and his followers, and evil, often represented by Satan and his followers. It symbolizes the final defeat of evil and the establishment of God's ultimate reign. That is not all, as another terrifying reason seems to be responsible for the Euphrates drying up, and this time it has to do with angels. In the book of Revelation 9:14, it is written, saying to the sixth angel who had the trumpet, "Release the 4 angels who are bound at the great river Euphrates." This is another prophecy tied to the Euphrates River as it dries. This scripture suggests that the Euphrates River might have been a prison yard where fallen angels had been locked up for thousands of years. And as part of the end-time events, these fallen angels, now considered to be demons, would be released. Recently, as the Euphrates River continues to dry up, a series of complaints have been launched by locals, hearing eerie sounds emerging from the river's depths. This has caused a great deal of concern from the world population, as these angels, according to prophecy, would wreak havoc on the world. If the sounds heard are indeed that of fallen angels warming up for their release, then we might just have a big problem on our table. Other than Christians and Judaism, even Islam has prophecies about the great Euphrates River drying up. This is written in numerous hadiths, as Prophet Muhammad himself has made scary statements about the Euphrates River drying up. According to him, the Euphrates River will definitely dry up at the end of times, and the result will be the revealing of a great mountain made of gold, and great treasures thus is regarded as the mountain of gold. However, this prophecy is not really a good one, as the aftermath of the revelation of the golden mountain promises chaos. According to the Holy Prophet, the discovery of the mountain would stir up greed in the hearts of men, and nations would strive to covet its treasures. This would lead to worldwide chaos and violence, with only a few righteous people surviving the event.